You're watching Corn TV, Channel 6.
Water everywhere. Midwest flooding spreads down the Mississippi Valley. Damage in the millions and more rain in the forecast. The president leaves for the economic meetings in Tokyo, while an exclusive CBS News poll says the Japanese don't trust him. And Eye on America. Tonight, a fight for survival. The most beautiful spots in the nation going under the knife, the budget knife.
You know, if anybody comes out here and sees the beauty of it, they shouldn't mind paying extra few dollars for it.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Good evening. Dan is on assignment tonight. Well, they are going with the flow in the Midwest. Floodwaters driving more people out of their homes today. Farmers are battling the floods with sandbags, but all too often the farmers are losing everything they have. Correspondent Vicki Mabry is on the scene in West Alton, Missouri.
Let's go ahead and start it.
There's just no relief for the flood-ravaged Mississippi River Basin. And as the rain continues its relentless beating on the upper Midwest, all the preparations in the world seem unable to stop a river bent on overstepping its bounds.
So we know what's coming down the river at this time, but additional rainfall, you never know, what's going to happen.
It's a disaster for the community, yeah.
Meredith Boschert is a third-generation grain farmer in West Alton, Missouri, using his tractor today not to haul crops, but sandbags.
We're just lucky it even rained in Delaware.
Boschert's neighbors aren't so lucky. They're hauling sandbags in boats over acres of valuable but flooded corn, soybean, and grain farmland.
Stand to lose half of my gross income this year. I mean, that's hard for anybody to swallow.
Even if the sandbags help hold the levees in this area, farmers still face flood damage. The ground is so saturated, crops are literally drowning.
The water just starts coming up through the ground and stands in the crops, and that'll kill the crops the same as if the levee breaks, we have a flood out there.
The disaster picture is the same up and down the Mississippi, and it's spilling over to the Missouri and Illinois rivers. Near West Alton, the towns of Grafton and Winfield are flooded, houses underwater, their owners evacuated. Upstream in Davenport, Iowa, after days of furious sandbagging, building a 5-foot-high, 5-foot-wide dike to save his building, an emotional Steve Webster and his weary band of volunteers found they couldn't hold off the raging water any longer.
I've always had a lot of respect for this river. Just wanted to beat it this time. Didn't happen. Maybe next time.
Steve Webster lost, but millions of other people along the river are still hoping their luck will be better. Vicki Mabry, CBS News, West Alton, Missouri.
President Clinton toured some of the flood damage last evening on his way to San Francisco. Mr. Clinton is now off on his first overseas trip as president, flying tonight to Tokyo for the economic summit. In a pre-summit speech, the president said the United States must adjust to a changing world.
The global economy is here to stay. We can't wish it away, we can't hide from it, and no political leader can promise to protect you from it. We simply have to compete, not retreat, and we have to do it while maintaining our position of world leadership.
If the president expects the Japanese to follow the leader, he could be in for a rude awakening. As our Tokyo correspondent James Hattori reports, these are not good times for U.S.-Japanese relations.
President Clinton took off for Japan this afternoon, where there is growing disenchantment with the United States. According to a new CBS News, New York Times, Tokyo Broadcasting System poll, more than two-thirds of the Japanese say U.S.-Japan relations are unfriendly, the opposite of what most Americans think. Many Japanese are pessimistic. Nearly a third say relations will get worse, perhaps because they believe America is overly demanding and unsympathetic to Japan's worst recession in 20 years.
They think we have a lot of money, but actually, it's not true.
President Clinton must overcome mounting skepticism on his first trip overseas. According to our poll, one-third of the Japanese say their opinion of the president is unfavorable, though a majority is undecided. However, 70% say Mr. Clinton cannot be trusted to keep his word dealing with other countries, and a whopping 83% say he's doing a poor job solving U.S.-Japan trade problems. The president is pressing Japan for a new trade policy which measures results. The Japanese are stiffing it. Little chance of a compromise this week.
I think the current measures taken by Clinton is too harsh, and perhaps he has not done enough homework.
Among Americans, there is growing resentment toward Japan. 45% say Japanese companies are competing unfairly in business. Few Japanese agree with that. But 85% of the Japanese say the U.S. is simply blaming them for its economic problems. A good number of Americans agree. Japan and the U.S. have their own points of view. It's difficult, this man says. They have to find a compromise. But so far, the only thing the U.S. and Japan can agree on is that their trade and economic problems are bad. And unless they do something, they'll get worse. James Hattori, CBS News, Tokyo.
Most of the leaders in Tokyo this week are from Europe, and they come with their own economic headaches. Unemployment in Europe is up to 10.5%, far above the U.S. rate. But as Mark Phillips reports from England, the Europeans know they can't look to America to bail them out.
Oddly enough, here on a historic reach of the River Thames west of London, there's a lesson for those heading for Tokyo. In rowing among the straining muscles and silly hats of the Henley Royal Regatta, as among meetings of leaders of the industrialized countries, it helps to pull together. But if the comparison has worked in the past, it's in trouble today.
European countries, EC countries, are in disarray. They know it, each of them know it, and they know it collectively. And that is not Bill Clinton's job to solve their problems.
While the disarray is not immediately evident here, where tailgate parties are held out the back of a Rolls-Royce, there is something else that has driven Americans and Europeans apart, a feeling.
We're getting more Euro-minded. I feel much more foreign in New York than I feel in Paris.
The concept of the club, of who's in and who's out, is probably more established here than anywhere else on the face of the earth. But even allowing for Henley's exclusivity, there's talk here of a perception of a growing gap between America's interests and their own.
Well, all friendships waver, don't they?
So these days, when the Americans go marching by on the 4th of July, they're seen as marching home, in body and in spirit.
The world gets the impression that we are in withdrawal and retreat, and I don't think the administration has given any indication to make people abroad think otherwise.
Despite the parades, the impression is of a new president treading reluctantly in unfamiliar territory. His stillborn Bosnian initiative, where the Europeans were left bruised and bewildered, was a case in point.
President Clinton has pursued a policy which is rather inconsistent, so far at least. He has not been very successful in convincing the Europeans that he will be able to play an important role in global affairs.
In Europe, too, everyone seems more involved in their own internal affairs. Rioting in Germany, malcontent workers all over the continent. Leaders here might well envy even Bill Clinton's fitful popularity ratings. Yet for Clinton, the summit may have less to do with making policy than with making friends.
He has the personal job of establishing a relationship with these leaders. And in this sense, he has a tougher role than any other president has had.
Other presidents may well have had it easier. A clear enemy, the Soviets, and like-minded allies. Pulling together was less complicated. Now, differences can be more obvious than similarities, no matter what people say.
Oh, we still love the Americans. It's all right. Never mind.
Mark Phillips, CBS News, Henley.
President Clinton says he'll have an edge at the Tokyo summit because, unlike previous presidents, he can say he has a plan to cut the U.S. budget deficit. Deficit spending has caused the U.S. national debt to grow to more than $4,346 billion. That works out to nearly $17,000 for every man, woman, and child in the United States. Coming up on tonight's CBS Evening News, Eye on America. Tonight, our national parks and your tax dollars. Is the price right? And talk about deflation, a crash course in aerial advertising.
2 a.m., 36 Pine Street. Apartment 4C has a backache and can't sleep. 3C overdid her afternoon workout and is paying the price. 2C had an aching back, but fortunately she also has Tylenol PM gel caps with extra strength Tylenol pain reliever, plus a gentle ingredient to help her sleep. And a good night's sleep was all she needed to make her day a whole lot brighter. Tylenol PM, so you can rest easy.
Save now on Goodyear for a limited time only. Save on selected Goodyear passenger car radials. Save on selected Goodyear Eagles for performance cars and on selected Goodyear Wranglers for light trucks and vans. The time is now. The savings are big. The name is Goodyear.
Day after day, you make those glasses of thick Metamucil disappear. Why not make them all disappear with Fibercon? Doctor-recommended Fibercon gives you the same fiber regularity in tablets.
Easy to swallow tablets.
Get doctor-recommended Fibercon.
Investigators in Cleveland are checking out evidence of arson in a fire that destroyed 17 buildings just east of downtown yesterday. The fire broke out in an old factory complex and quickly spread. The blaze was one of the city's biggest ever. And speaking of big, a really huge crash landing is the talk of the town in New York City today. People who thought they had seen everything still can't believe it. Jacqueline Adams explains.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a blimp. Even normally blasé New Yorkers were stunned.
They sort of came down and hit the entranceway to the stairwell. And there were some people sitting right there, and we just got out of the way just in time.
After weaving down the Hudson River, the Pizza Hut Bigfoot blimp crash-landed onto a Manhattan apartment building Sunday afternoon, its wreckage draping from the roof almost to the street. The pilot and co-pilot did suffer minor injuries, but managed to avoid hurting anyone else.
He knew he was coming down, and the place where there would be no people would be on the roof of a building, and he shot for that building.
Federal air safety officials said the pilot reported feeling vibrations before losing control, and there is speculation that the rudder on the single-engine airship may have broken loose and somehow ripped the helium-filled balloon. Rudder problems reportedly forced this same blimp to make an emergency landing in May during one of its maiden runs north of Los Angeles. Despite Sunday's accident, blimps are in fact so safe the FAA doesn't require passengers to wear seatbelts. Yet who can forget the spectacular 1937 crash of Germany's Hindenburg that killed 36 people?
Oh, the humanity!
Although the design of today's airships is quite similar, their balloons are no longer filled with an explosive gas like hydrogen, but with helium. In the last 20 years, blimps have become a fixture at major sporting events, and pilots say there's never been an accident.
It's like sitting in your living room with the windows open. It's the safest aircraft in the skies, much safer statistically than your car.
Since blimps remain one of the most effective advertising tools, pilots doubt that the Bigfoot accident will dampen the American public's fascination with these graceful whales in the sky. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, New York.
Stay with us for much more CBS Evening News, including Saddam Hussein and why he may be finally ready to make a deal.
Whoa, boy! You know, at Quality Comfort Clearing and Sleep Hotels, kids and grandkids not only get to stay free, good boy. They also get a free choice of stores. Pretty cool, huh? Stay boys. So call 1-800-4CHOICE to reserve your room now, because offers like this only come once every 16 million years.
Kids stay free and get a free choice of Saurus. Supplies are limited. Call 1-800-4CHOICE.
That works. There's no cleaner clean than Prel. And now the original cleaner Prel Green is back. Work. Clean. There's no cleaner clean.
Prel Clean. It was my first serious dinner at his family's. There's so much food.
This is Greg's favorite dish.
And my first serious heartburn. And I learned some things.
Oh, no, these are different. Tums has calcium.
Most antacids don't. Of all these, the only one that helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day is Tums.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums.
If your doctor can't heal you, how far should you go to help yourself? Before you do anything for a cure, watch 48 Hours Wednesday.
Government forces in Bosnia are cornered tonight as they fight to defend the last Muslim strongholds in the country. Serb and Croat forces are closing in on a key town in northern Bosnia. In Sarajevo, Serb gunners launched another shelling attack, killing 1 child and wounding 11 more. And operations at the city's hospital are crippled by a blockade that has cut off fuel and water. A team of UN weapons inspectors left Iraq today. They gave up after weeks of stonewalling by Saddam Hussein, the Iraqi leader refusing to allow cameras at 2 missile sites. Iraq says it will cooperate only if the UN eases its economic blockade. Barry Peterson has more from Baghdad.
The UN team's departure may become a bargaining chip later this week as Iraq begins negotiations to sell its oil under UN control. That Saddam Hussein is now willing to make such a humiliating deal shows his apparent desperation after almost 3 years of sanctions.
Iraq has grinding slowly to a halt. The 17 million Iraqis need some sort of release, and for that, the Saddam Hussein regime is prepared now to go to the United Nations and to ask for help.
Some money from oil sales would buy foreign products. For Iraqis, shopping is a nightmare of scarce goods and skyrocketing prices. Prices go up every day. This watermelon costs 50 times what it used to. If you think that's something, try this. Iraqis now pay as much for 2 tires as it used to cost to buy a new car. At hospitals, X-ray film is running out. So is kidney dialysis solution.
We wait for solution, and the patient waiting, and many patients died, and we can't do anything.
Even daily papers aren't daily. Some no longer print on weekends. Meanwhile, Saddam Hussein's soldiers remain on fixed incomes. With 4,000% inflation, a colonel's monthly salary now barely buys a pair of good shoes. For the regime, the angry grumbling is getting dangerously loud. Even love is in trouble. Marriages have dropped because people are losing faith in the future. So Saddam is picking up the tab for gowns, makeup, and all the trimmings. That means a lot here. Sugar for baking is in short supply. But even Saddam now seems to realize he must make concessions to the outside world so he can do more for his people than just let them eat cake. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Baghdad.
Muslim radicals in the Middle East today threatened to kidnap Americans if the U.S. goes ahead with its threat to extradite an Egyptian cleric. Security was tightened today at the U.S. Embassy in Cairo. The threats followed the arrest of Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman in New York last week. Egypt has now asked for his extradition to face charges in an anti-government murder plot. Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, remembering a man who excelled at a little boy's game.
The fear of bad breath. The threat of plaque. The menace of the gum infection. Gingivitis. Only one leading mouthwash protects you against all 3. Only one. Listerine Antiseptic. It's there to protect you.
Does it seem like your body's playing by a whole new set of rules?
As a kid, I'd naturally burn off anything I ate. Now, I ride bikes that don't go anywhere.
When the rules change, count on Total's nutrition.
Now I try to make the most of what I eat. So I switched from my old cereal to whole grain Total. A whole day's worth of 12 vitamins and minerals in just 100 calories. No cereal beats that. So I'm eating better. And now, I'm getting somewhere.
When the rules change, count on Total's nutrition.
Miss Butler!
Conrad!
They had a love affair with butter, but cholesterol ended that romance until...
William! I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter. The taste you love without the cholesterol.
Holy smoke! Freezer burn! Call Ziploc brand freezer bags. Only Ziploc has the gripper zipper. Tough, tiny teeth you can feel gripping. Locks freshness in, freezer burn out. Only you can prevent freezer burn. Ziploc has the lock on freshness.
These baby geese will follow their mother anywhere, even if she's a plane. The Extraordinary Baby Geese story tomorrow on CBS This Morning with Harry Smith and Paula Zahn.
More than any other baseball club, the Los Angeles Dodgers are like a family. Dodger Blue stands for traditions and legacies and leaders. Over the weekend, there was yet another death in the Dodger family. Bill Lagatuda reports on the legacy of Don Drysdale.
The kind of throwing Don Drysdale did you don't see much of anymore. The brush back, knock the man right off the plate kind of pitch was what made him a legend.
The meanest man when he gets on the mound that you ever wanted to see. And Drysdale would stick his hand in front of the ball, his foot in front of the ball, and if you look cross-eyed, he'd knock you down.
He was cocky, but got away with it because he was so good. Back in '66, he and Sandy Koufax held out for an unbelievable $100,000 each. They were the best pitching combination in the game.
It's our eventuality. It hurts to have it happen so soon.
It happened in Montreal, where the Dodgers were playing the Expos, and Drysdale didn't show up for his regular announcing job. His partner, Vin Scully, held the news till the 8th inning.
And I say it to you as best as I can with a broken heart. Don Drysdale was found dead in his hotel room, obviously a victim of a heart attack.
He was something as a baseball player, and he was something as a man. He was a real man.
He was, of course, in the Hall of Fame. The 209 victories, those 58 consecutive scoreless innings in 1968, a record that held for 20 years, finally broken by another Dodger.
At least we kept it in the family. That's the big thing.
Lately, for the Dodger family, it's been a terribly sad time. Just last week, another great, Roy Campanella, died. Drysdale and his wife, former UCLA basketball star Ann Myers, were among those saying goodbye to him.
You know, we're going to miss that man, believe me.
And the Dodgers win 1-0.
Fans who remember the best of baseball will miss Don Drysdale, too. He was only 56. Bill Agatuto, CBS News, Los Angeles.
I really didn't want my husband to color his gray hair.
But then I discovered this, the hair coloring called Just for Men.
And now he looks better than ever.
Simply apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Just for Men blends away the gray for a totally natural look. No wonder 8 out of 10 wives of Just for Men users prefer it to the gray look.
It's like you took off 10 years.
And in just 5 minutes.
Just for Men. She'll love the way you look.
Okay, it's the next exit. Coming up.
No matter how often we surprise a new winner,
I can't believe this. Wonderful.
it's pretty exciting getting ready for that winning moment.
Let's do it.
You just won $10 million.
Wow. You for real, aren't you? Oh, my gosh.
We're the Prize Patrol from Publishers Clearinghouse, and we're getting ready to visit you next month.
Today, Michael White is having a lunch meeting in Indonesia without even leaving town.
This is your life.
Mary Kaplan is keeping things moving at her office, even though she's going nowhere fast.
This is your world.
With everything from local to long distance to cellular, it's easy to see why Sprint is the choice of millions who need to be there now.
Do you have a problem with food sticking to your barbecue? Just spray all-natural Pam on a cold grill, and your problem will go away. Pam makes summer less sticky.
Attention heartburn sufferers.
If antacids work, why do I keep getting heartburn?
You know, frequent heartburn may be a sign of a more serious medical problem. Your doctor has treatment plans that can help.
Frequent heartburn. Isn't it time you talk to your doctor?
Many Americans spent this holiday weekend at a national park. In fact, the 50 national parks are expecting a record number of visitors this year. But even as attendance goes up, the parks are cutting down on service because, unfortunately, money doesn't grow on trees. John Blackstone reports tonight's Eye on America.
What's it worth, that narrow granite valley called Yosemite? What's the value of that old geyser that blows so faithfully? What's the price tag on the Blue Ridge Mountains or the beaches of Cape Hatteras? What are Americans willing to pay for their national parks?
I just think it's time for us to say to the American people, it's going to cost you more to take care of your parks.
You got to pay, even in these times, even in these times.
You betcha.
We see military bases closed.
Absolutely. Yes, what do you care about most?
Roger Kennedy is the newly appointed director of the National Park Service. He's on a mission to convince Americans taxing and spending is worthwhile when the taxes are spent on the national parks.
Everybody who comes and stands in front of that falls and pauses for a minute is changed by that. I think the American people want to support their parks. I think the American people are willing to be taxed to support their parks.
The parks are being shortchanged, critics say. Their budgets have barely increased in a decade. Amidst the grandeur of the national parks, many visitors may never notice the effects of tight budgets and staff shortages. But those who know the parks best warn of a steady erosion of America's treasures.
We're in desperate times. Times are very tough, not just in Yosemite, but throughout the park system. We're not only being asked to do more with less, unfortunately, we are doing less with less.
Are there any campgrounds left? No, everything's full. Everything's full?
Yep.
In spite of the demand, 2 campgrounds at Yosemite will be closed and empty all summer. The park can't afford rangers to run them.
They can't hire more people.
They're understaffed.
They're way understaffed.
Campgrounds are closed at Cape Hatteras, too, where Superintendent Tom Hartman says his park is unraveling at the edges.
We've closed very little, but everything is reduced.
The historic structures of the Cape are beginning to look shabby.
The last time the lighthouse was painted was in 1982, and the parking lot's going where it's cracked all the way down. And there's no money at this point to fix it.
At 2 main Cape Hatteras beaches this summer, there are no lifeguards.
I have 2 young kids here, and the rip tides can be pretty bad here at times. You know, people need protection.
Wildlife needs protection too. Park rangers worry that when nature is neglected, the loss can be permanent.
If we make decisions that tend to work against that long-term protection of the resources, then we're not leaving our children and our grandchildren with very much in the way of a heritage legacy.
At some parks, there aren't even enough rangers to collect entrance fees. It doesn't matter much. Even the money that is collected doesn't stay in the parks. It goes straight to the federal treasury. Many visitors say they'd pay more, but only if the money stays in the parks.
That's what I want to see, is the money go into the parks and on the bike trails and the camping grounds.
You know, if anybody comes out here and see the beauty of it, they shouldn't mind paying extra few dollars for it.
This is worth it, you know what I mean? This is one of the best things you can do in your life.
These are holy places that we have saved because they either represent to us Americans extraordinary physical beauty or wonderful working laboratories in which you can learn about other species.
The new parks director has one advantage as he campaigns for more money. Even in these days of cynicism about government, the National Park Service is one agency people still love. In Yosemite Valley, this is John Blackstone for Eye on America.
And that's our news. Coming up tomorrow on CBS This Morning, the growing controversy over the growth hormone. You'll meet a child who's getting the hormone and an expert on the treatment. I'm Connie Chung in New York. Dan Rather and I will see you again tomorrow night. Dan will be reporting all this week from the Economic Summit in Tokyo. Thank you for joining us and for all of us at CBS News. Good night.